Hi there, how you doing? Welcome to part number 1 of club number 6. I had to think about that for a second, but club number 6 is the final club of this save. What's the save? It's my MyCareer save here on Football Manager 2024, and it will be the portion of the save that sees out the MyCareer save. How's it, episode 1? We've already played at 5 clubs. This is the 6th one. This is the last one. And they'll be saying goodbye to FM24. But my name is Stu. Thank you for joining me in today's video where we are going to be making the move. Now, we are still technically at Bayern Munich, so we're going to make the move on camera and we're going to get everything going. By the way, I'm aware there's a big red mark on my face. I scratched myself in my sleep. I need to record this video, so it's there. Deal with it. But yeah, we're going to be moving clubs and we're going to settle in and see what we've got to work with and see what we can do with that nearly £200 million of transfer budget. I can't wait. So let's get that move sorted, shall we? So when we hit continue, that's going to be the moment we move over. Here we go. We did have a quick look at the squad before we left the last episode, but it's been real Bayern Munich. It's only been the one season. We were planning on more, but we've got one season left. Let's go for it. And we've got a heck of a transfer budget to try and do that with. But Milan, higher FM, or Football Club Internazionale Milano, higher FM. Sparking plenty of heated debate because we were going to be at Bayern Munich for the long haul and we just weren't. So we have famously lifted the Champions League with Arsenal in 2032. By the way, I didn't say actually in the last video, Arsenal turned us down because we were such a recent manager and they wanted to go in a new direction. It wouldn't have made sense in the context of the save. I just thought it'd be a nice bookend. Going back to Wolves would have been perfect, but they're never going to sack Ange because he's been doing a good job. But we're going to face pressure to bring immediate success to Comunale Milano. I don't know whether it's called the San Siro in FM, because sometimes one of the two Milans has got it as a different name. I don't know. But we're stepping up to take charge from our previous standing, and we're going to need to hit the ground running if we are to win over those who believe my performance is a questionable decision. I'm a Champions League winner. I've won the league title in England multiple times. I won the German league last year. Shut your face. You didn't win anything last season. But like me, yeah, maybe we don't go on too strong with that. Eddie Howe was considered to be the favourite for the job. Interesting. I don't quite know what Eddie Howe's doing at the moment, but you're spotted attending an interview, but they went with me instead. Bayern Munich are going to look for a new manager. I hear Eddie Howe is available, and they're all of the people who are joining us. Unfortunately, Enzo Maresca will not be joining us as our assistant manager, but Inter finished 5th last season, so it is a big job to jump into. We are obviously looking to win the Champions League in one season here, but also, I think the really important thing is that we don't not win the league. The Champions League is obviously the postscript of this save. The main one was to win the Champions League once. We did that with Arsenal. So let's see whether we can get another one. But the main thing is we need to win that domestic league. So see what we can do. Now, they're only a 4.5-star reputation. Only. I mean, you know, it's a good reputation, but it's not quite a 5-star. So that might hinder us in like the very best players. But I've already got some players in mind that I want to bring in. They're rich. We've got a big, beefy transfer budget. I've got a good wage budget, and they've won plenty of things, including 3 Champions Leagues in the past. So they obviously want us to do that. So last season finished 5th. They did win the Coppa Italia last season, knocked out in the semi-final of the Super Coppa, and then so current season. Oh, okay. So this season. Wait. What a balls up. So I've just realised. And I can't believe I've only just realised. And I could go back. I could load up the Bayern save. I could pretend this didn't happen. I'm not going to do that. We're not in the Champions League, are we? Because they finished 5th last season. What a balls up on my part. Okay, so what that means is we're going to try and squeeze 2 seasons out of this save in Italy. But we're going to stay in Inter. We're not changing clubs again. This is the club that we're going to be at for the end of the save. But we're going to try and blitz through it and do 2 seasons so we can get a season in the Champions League. So, what a balls up. But it's fine. Do you know what? I'm looking forward to it. With the transfer budget, we can build a really good side. So let's settle them this season and then do a quick fire second season. Let's do that. Oh, I can't believe I didn't realise that. The thing is, though, we couldn't hang on, so we needed to make a decision. We would have stayed with Bayern Munich. It would have been fine, but I'm more excited by the prospect of this, even with the fact that we're not in the Champions League. I can't believe I've done that. Right, we are predicted to finish first. This is the 11. Apparently, it's a diamond. We're not going to be playing a diamond. I've already decided. There's a lot of good players in here. The defence is fine. I don't think we need to do anything with that starting defence. These two, probably going to go. He's not. He's probably not going to start. He definitely is. And they've got a few other good young players as well. I am very excited about this team as well. Apparently, Gavi's the key player. That won't be for long. We might give him a chance, but he's a good player to raise funds with. That's what they want us to do. We'll get into all of that. We'll do the press conference, but you don't need to see that. And we'll confirm. Right, we're here. We are here. So we do have, obviously, the new squad rules for Italy. Germany's very lax in what you can do. So, you know, it is what it is. So who's left? Enzo left. Why didn't he just join me? Enzo, do you want a job? He's been my guy since Arsenal. Why didn't he just join me? That's ridiculous. That is absolutely ridiculous. I'm tempted to bring in Thiago as well because he's a good tactical, technical coach. Do you know what? We'll bring him in as well. We've got the room. He was with us. Is he with us at Wolves as well? Yeah, he's followed us since Wolves. He's got to come. Thiago's got to come as well. That's great. And then who was the other guy? Brian Riemer. He's coach. And he's followed it. So he didn't follow us to Arsenal. But he was at Wolves with us. And then we got him after. He was actually at Charlton with us as well. Do you know what? He's got to come as well. Try and get him to come to Italy with us. Okay, he wants a bit more. There we go. Right. That wasn't meant to happen. What I was going to do initially was number 1. That's got to change. There we go. Perfect. And number 2. That's got to change. There we go. Beautiful. That's more like it. We need to do the tactical direction, but let's first of all start by meeting the team and what a team we promised to have. We don't have any 5-star players, but some of these youngsters will get there no problem at all. We've got a 4.5-star player in Urbano. I mean, these guys are going to be fantastic. He looks incredible. I mean, they're playing without a winger and they've got him. What's going on? 10 at the base of the midfielder in defence will be good. 6 foot tall, he's quick, not the best in the air, so maybe we'll try and turn him into a defensive midfielder. But then we got this guy Verlaine, who's 5'11", reasonably good physically, good leadership, good marking, good tackling. His passing's not all that. He's very much a brick wall in front of the defence. Urbano, the left back, I mean, 2 caps for Italy. How has he only got 2 caps? Look at the state of him. He's fabulous. He's fantastic. Oh, I can't wait to use him. He's great. Ardguler at 29, one of the veterans of the team. Superb playmaker. He's the main reason we've got to use a 4-2-3-1, I think. Gavi will probably move on. I've got no real interest in using him, but he could be good. You never know. Andre Silva, consistency could be a problem, so he might not be a starter for us at 23. I might even move him on just to be on the safe side. Gonçalves as a winger. He looks pretty decent as well. He's got a good number of caps for Portugal. Zilli, not as much potential as I thought he would have, but another good playmaker, striker. Finishing's not all that, so if he's a striker, he's probably going to be more like a deep line forward for me. But, you know, he's still got some good attributes that could help with that. Not the quickest in the world. He's got a decent amount of agility, plays 1-2s as well, so that could be good. Waneri, again, probably someone we'd look to move on. Doesn't like the big games. We, of course, sold him at Arsenal, but again, he got good flexibility. That could end up helping, but he would free up one of the EU places. And then onto the 3-star players. We've got a 3-star fullback. Looking at caps he's got for Mexico, though. There's a good amount of experience there with Trigos. Tasita, not all that. He was one point looking like a great player, but we were at Wolves at the time. So, you know, he is what he is. He'll be a good player to throw in if we need it. He solved this consistency problem, which he did have at one point as well. So I've got no problem throwing him in if we need him. So another good attacking player. At the moment, the striker who is leading the line at the club, when I was looking at them last season, Shaquille Van Persie, but at 27 with the major injury problems, I'm quite happy to move him on. He's already on the transfer list as well. So let's see what happens with him. This guy I was really excited about, but again, his potential isn't actually all that. But winger, central midfielder, he's probably the reason why we can let Waneri go, and he's Italian as well. And Campanella, although if someone did want to come in for him, I'd consider it because there are apparently teams interested in him. Former club Arsenal and also Roma. And then we've got goalkeeper Urbig at 30 years old, 6'2". His aerial reach is pretty good. His passing is good. His throwing is good. Good distribution, actually. I might hang on to him. I was thinking of getting rid of him, but actually we might end up hanging on to him. Bastoni, the legend, is still here. Probably his final season, I would have thought. I will keep him unless a club comes in for him. But also, look, he can be a defensive midfielder as well. That could come in handy, especially with the fact that he's not obviously that athletic anymore. Back at left back, Brazilian. He's got 8 caps for them already. He's got a goal as well. Flying attacking wing back. Love to see that. Very much so. Then we've got Borjan Petrovic, who looks like he's a backup striker. Looks like he's a decent backup striker, actually. 6 foot tall, relatively quick. not the strongest in the world, not the best in the air. Very much get the ball to his feet and he'll do his job. Then we've got Casagrande, another Brazilian, 2 caps for them, got a lot of potential. He's a central midfielder, can play defensive, can play attacking. He's probably going to be attacking looking at his ability. Doesn't look too bad. Then we've got Roberto Larios as a striker. He looks like one we're probably going to move on, more than likely, especially with those injury problems. Basata Demi doesn't like big games. He's going to get moved on more than likely. We've got Aslani, Albanian, international, 109 caps, 32 years old. But we've got enough defensive options, we could probably move him on. Then we've got Calabretta, goalkeeper, not very good, but he'll do as a backup. This guy's already leaving the looks of things. And then we've got kind of the dregs of the squad down here as well. So we'll probably move some of those guys on, including David Fratesi, who we don't necessarily need. Let's have a quick look at the youth setup and just see what we've got. I haven't had a look at it yet, so let's see if we've got any good potential. Not really, actually. We've got this guy, Gabriel Mancini, who is on loan at Brescia, who could do a job for us, but he's not that special. Nothing really in the 20s, and then in under 18s. Okay, got a couple of superstars there. They're going to get called up straight away, these two. Let's get them called up to the under 20s. They'll do a job there, and we'll leave everyone else there at the moment. So that makes things look a little bit better. We've got Cazzato. Alessandro Cazzato looks pretty decent. Striker, can play on the wing. And Anthony La Spada looks pretty fancy as a winger as well. The club's producing wingers, but they don't want to use them. Well, I don't know what to tell you. Okay, so the job is taken. We've had a quick look at the team. I haven't looked at the tactics yet, but one thing we do need to look at is what we're going to do in terms of getting to work. With an £83,000 a week, that means we've got an annual wage of £4,316,000. We should be able to do something with that. And we might need to as well, because obviously, it's between 2 different European countries. Now, we have a number of ways we can get there. If we want to drive, we can do that. It's a 5-hour journey. I don't really want to take that 5-hour journey. It has tolls, it crosses through multiple countries, and has restricted usage or includes private roads. So we've got to go through, we've got to go, where's that? So that's Germany, through to Liechtenstein. Is that through to Switzerland as well at one point, and then into Italy, into Milan? I think we're going to probably not do the drive, nor are we going to do 8 hours on public transport, which is going to involve trains and probably buses and a bit of walking. The walking is the bit that puts me off there. Actually, I'm recording this on a Sunday afternoon. This will get me there on a Monday morning at 3:38. I'm not really feeling that, nor am I feeling the walk. Going to take 114 hours. Look at me. It would also take a day to cycle there. 32 hours. That's not a day. That's longer than a day. Again, I refer you back to my previous answer. Look at me. But we could fly there. That is an option. We could get there in an hour and 10 minutes. But there's a... Oh, so there's 2 options. 1 hour, 10 minutes. 2 hours 40 from £118 a trip. Do you know what? I think we're just going to live there. And with that yearly salary that we've got, we can borrow up to £23.7 million. That's enough, I think, to get a fancy place in Milan. I hope it is anyway. Otherwise, I'll be in a bit of trouble. As it happens, Rightmove have some fantastic Italian properties that we can look at, all within our price range. The most expensive one is this one, £18 million, which we can more than afford. It has this one up here as well, but that's pennies. A 2-bedroom flat, yeah, forget that. We're going to have a look at some of these ones. So 18 million gets us this. It looks a bit farmy, got to be honest. A little bit farmy. Looks a little bit like a resort, which I suppose is quite cool, actually, in a way, that it looks like that. I mean, it does look. We'll have a proper look at the one we choose. But then we've got this one, which I think this one looks much nicer, personally. Just having a quick look. It's got Netflix. It's got Netflix. I can watch me wrestling. It just looks very good, actually. But then we've got a couple more down here, which are a little bit more reasonable. I mean, this is a penthouse. That's a villa. We're getting into apartments here. This is an apartment. It does look very nice, though. It does look very nice indeed. And there are a few more apartments as well. We could even buy 2 and rent one out and do a little bit of property stuff on the side, maybe. So maybe we do that. Maybe. Let's have a look at this one. I'm quite taken by this one just because of the outsideness. So let's have a look. We've got 20 photos to look at. So let's start off on photo number 1. I mean, first of all, you can see out. It's hub high. We've made it. We have made it at this point, haven't we? That looks fantastic. Look at that fancy little collection of tables put together to be one big table. I mean, the big TV, I was about to say there's no TV on the wall. There is. Look at the state of that. That is wonderful, isn't it? That looks absolutely superb. Oh, yeah, we've made it. We've made it. Look at it. What is this? I'm intrigued by this glass thing here? Like, is it just part of the wall? I mean, you've got the doors that open out into the outside. You're up high as well. My other half would hate this place because of how high up it is. But I am quite happy with it. It's open air from the looks of things as well, which means I would imagine it's got good drainage. It would need good drainage. Thinking of all this as if I'm actually going to be moving there. Just realised, table football. They've got a football table in there. That's excellent. That is excellent. And another one. They like the table football. I don't know how to feel about how much they like their table football. That's a snazzy little kitchen. I mean, the microwave looks basic, but the oven looks pretty cool. It's a one oven, but it's a big wide oven. Excellent. That's exactly what we want. There's another one over here as well, like a big proper one. So they've got like 2 ovens, maybe a third one down here as well. Lovely. Over-engineered stairs. I appreciate that. I quite like how they are. Look at that. That's fabulous, isn't it? That is superb. Very, very much over-engineered. Beautiful view out onto what I'm assuming is Milan. Fabulous. I wonder if we can see the stadium from here. By the way, look at this building in the background, covered in trees. I love that. That's superb. I mean, that I think's the place. That I think is the place. I've noticed that I can't see an office necessarily, which is a bit of a problem. But I mean, that can be the office. We'll gut this and turn this into the office where I can still play Football Manager. Big monitor on the wall here, or even over here. Imagine doing my videos out of there. That'd be lovely. Right, we've got somewhere to live. And just to confirm, not only do we have somewhere to live, but we have some money at the club to spend as well. We've currently got a good balance at the club. We've got a big transfer budget. We've got a decent wage budget as well at the moment. That's what we've got spare in the wage budget. And we've still got a bunch of clauses that we can look to sell as well. So let's have a quick look. I mean, we can get 17 million. Why do we get 17 million? That's a ridiculous amount. Yeah, we'll have that. And then, what about this guy? How much do we get from him? Not much, but we'll sell it. Why not? Let's just make all of the money now. 6 million from Frankfurt, that'll do. 1 million from them, that'll do. Ricardo Olivia, 2.1. We'll do that. I mean, some of these would probably be better to keep, but I'm just thinking let's get as much money in now as we can. Spend as much as we can. 2.72, yeah, brilliant, perfect. And then we've got Angelo Silva, 7 million as well. Wow, I mean, we've generated, we've got another one here for barely anything. Why not? Let's just add that on. Right, how much has that left us with? Boom! All of a sudden, 230 million pounds we've got. Excellent. Well, we're fully stocked now. We're fully stocked. Right, now we need to think of the tactical way that we're going to play. Give me a moment to have a quick look. Okay, so I don't know whether we'll do 4-2-3-1 or 4-3-3. I have set both tactics up. I just need to have a quick look at who would play where and all that kind of stuff. I'm leaning towards this more than anything. The way that I've got the team set up tactical style is the Bayern one to begin with. We'll obviously adjust as we go. Now, it looks like there's a lot of gaps here. I have got a full 11 here with these guys. And it does look like a very good 11. We do definitely need at least 1 centre-back to start and then 2 backup ones. Probably we just need 3 good ones, which we can probably afford at this point. But we do also need a right-back. Then after that, I think defence is good. Goalkeeper, I could do with a better backup, but we have got one in the form of Calabretta, so if we need to use him, it's fine. Midfield, I'm leaning towards a couple of kind of brutes in there, with one just getting a bit further forward. Tenas is a good half-back. I've then got Villain, who can come in as the ball-winning midfielder on support, and he can do a good job. So I think they're going to be the starting pair. And then Bastoni is a good backup defender and also half-back. He can do the job there for a season, and then can also cover it central defence if we need. So we just need the one, probably a ball-winning midfielder to come in for there. Winger-wise, we probably do just need one. We've got Gonçalves, who is 3.5 star, Portuguese international, but he is wanted, so we'll see what happens with that. Attacking midfield, Gula is starting more than likely, and we've got Tacita, and we've also got Casagrande as well, who can play there. We'll probably just need to train him up a bit with his dribbling, because it's not very good at the moment. I mean, we could... No, that's what we're going to do. At the moment, actually, we don't have a playmaker, so let me just change this to that. We'll probably go between advanced playmaker on support and on attack. Let me just change it to that permanently, because we'll have him and we'll have Gula as well, who can do that job nicely. And then we've got the other guy who could potentially do it as well. The other one we have who can do it is Zilli, who I don't know what to do with, because he's an attacking midfielder who can play as an advanced playmaker, but he's also a striker. And if we have him as the attacking midfielder instead of Tacita, then Tacita could be the backup striker. He could also be a backup winger, but also frees up the move for Alex Ziv, which I'm definitely definitely considering. So, yeah, winger-wise as well, we've got Espinosa, who will be starting as a 4-star Spanish international with 4 caps at 21. He's going to be a superstar. We've got a lot of good players here. We just need to add some to it. Now, in terms of the players who I've got on the transfer list, the only one I haven't put on the transfer list yet is Gavi. I think I will do it. It's going to upset him. I'm going to be upsetting a few players here. I don't really care. I'm going to put him up for 150 to begin with, see if anyone bites, and then I will reduce accordingly. How much did we actually, because I sold him from Arsenal, how much did he go for? 60 million. So as long as I get more than 60 million, I'm happy. There's a lot of money that can be made here. I mean, Shaquille Van Persie's up for around the 40 million mark, somewhere in that region. Ademi's up for about 20. Larios is up for about 10. In fact, he's on the loan list, actually. We're going to keep him. Waneri's up for about 75. There's a lot of money we could potentially make from these guys, but we've already got 200 million pounds. So the first thing I'm going to do is pop an offer in for my boy Alex Eve. Let's get that offer in. What? Why? Why do you not want to? Oh, no. That was literally the plan. The plan was to bring him. Why doesn't he want to come? I'm going to put an offer in anyway. I'm going to put an offer in anyway. I don't care. I don't care. I'm bringing him in. I'm going to try. I'm going to go with an 80 million offer. No, 85. Oh my word. Okay, we're not doing that. You can get nutted with that. Offer you 100 up front. No and no. I knew they were going to want a bit more. 120. Okay. Let's just see. Let's just see. Oh, Alexi, come on. You know you want to do it. You know you want to do it. You know you want to come and join us. You know you want to. No! Please. It's going bad to us. No Champions League in the first season. No Alexi in the first season. Oh, he's only going to get better and more expensive as well. Okay, it's fine. There are other equally as good strikers out there. We've just never been able to afford them before. But now we just need to try and bring them in. Now, Alassani's unhappy. Wants to move on. That's fine. I think you can move on. I think we want to get rid of you anyway. Yeah, that's fine. I've already got you on the... Oh, you're on the transfer list. Did I do the transfer list for you? No, I didn't. I didn't actually finish the transfer list with him. 20 mil. Let him go. Villain wants a new contract. We'll sort that out. Shaquille Van Persie feels forced out of the club. Yeah, you are. True, to be fair. Right, I now need to go away and try and get some of these transfers going on. I also need to sort pre-season out because we will be starting the season. We don't know when, actually. We haven't got it sorted. There's a couple of friendlies already in the books, but we need to get a few more in. And we need to get ourselves ready for what is to come in this season without the Champions League. I can't believe I've done that. I got excited by the transfer budget and the fact the club was rich. That's what it was. Right, I'm going to go away. I'm going to start getting the pieces put together for the setup of this season, and then I'll come back, and then we're going to take this year by storm. We're going to win everything, and we're going to be ready for the Champions League in the second season. If we've got enough time to do that before FM26 comes out. Fingers crossed. Okay, just to bring you back up to speed with where we're at the moment. It's been a bit tougher than I thought it was going to be. The main reason being we are A, only 4.5 stars as a club, and B, we're not in the Champions League. That I've overlooked how important that is because there's a lot of players who either don't want to come to us or they're really having to think about it. Now, signings-wise, have we actually got anyone through the door yet? No, we haven't. But we are still in the process of doing it. A few players did leave on free transfers. We do have some transfers in the offing. So just to show you the ones in. These are the 3 we're currently looking at. I'm looking at Tom Laskowski. We know him from Arsenal. He's grown into a superb defender, and he's got even more room to grow. And I think he's going to be an absolutely fabulous player. It's going to cost us an arm and a leg, but I think he's going to be the heart of the defensive for years to come. I mean, there's a little bit of a gamble in there, but to be fair, when I left Arsenal, he was growing and growing and putting in good performance after good performance. So I'm willing to take a bit of a punt on him, but we know that he is a good player. David Martinez is an older player, 28 years old, but clubs were in for him, and he was on the transfer list by request. But look, Chelsea are in for him, United are in for him, Newcastle are in for him, Wolves are in for him, we're in for him. We've got the contract on the table for him. So it's now down to him whether he wants to come to us. In terms of who's bid for him, it's us and Wolves. Wolves actually offered more, but we'd already started contract negotiations when that offer went in. Now, I don't know whether they're also negotiating with him, but I am hopeful on that one. And funnily enough, another player from Portugal, but he's actually an Italian, is Antonello Simini, who just looks fantastic. And we're getting him at what would be a relative bargain price, £33 million. I don't quite know why he's that cheap. He's great on the ball. His first touch is not particularly good, but what is good is his finishing. So having him as a backup striker potentially even is a good thing. I've not really thought about that actually, but he could be the striker that we were thinking about looking for. I say thinking about. I've decided almost not to go for the striker because I think we've got enough options. But yeah, this guy, I think we need to have a bit of a think about what we do with him. But he looks pretty good and I'm really happy with him. So they're the three signings that we are actively looking to make. That would come to a total of 167 million now, 188 altogether. We've got 231 in, but on transfers out, there's money that's being made. Now, Bastoni has had an offer in for him. I'd quite like to keep him, but it's looking like that's not going to happen. So we'll get 4.5 million in, whatever that will be. Ademi is leaving, 24 years old. We've got loads of offers in for £20 million. In fact, I'm going to get rid of these two. We don't need those anymore. Don't need anything that's not going to be 20 million. And I want that 20 million up front. So that's on the way. So that's what, 20, call it 24 million. We've then got another 20 million potentially with the Al Ali deal. In fact, you know what? Again, we'll do the same thing. I've not thought about that yet. Let's do that. So that's 44 million, that is. And then we've got a 60 million offer from Wolves for Gavi. That's exactly what he was brought in for at the club. So we'll get another 60 million, whatever the what will be left of that. So let's say between those two, it's 80 million. Let's shave a bit off just to be on the safe side. 80 million pounds, and then we've got a loan offer in for Larios, but it is with a future fee potentially, not a guarantee. So we've got another 80 million that can come in effectively. So yeah, I mean we've got money on the way in, which is good to kind of top this up as well. So. Well, if we add 80 million, that's 310 million. And we're spending 167, so we'll have 150 million left. Thereabouts, maybe a bit under that. We've still got a decent amount of wage budget. Wage budget-wise, on the way out, we're saving £1 million with what's currently on there, and only spending 450. So we'll have loads of that, so we can whack some of this over to here. So that's going okay. The PSG job is now available, and I've been linked with it, even though I've just joined the club, because Pep Guardiola went to Arsenal. If I'd have hung on, we could have had PSG, but that would have been too easy. I did have a media question saying, have you gone like a level down to come to Inter, which I think is very insulting. I know the Italian league is not what it once was, but Inter is still a top club. We are still, again, hopefully, and there's another offer potentially coming in there. Now, this guy, the left back, that's no problem. We don't need a left back because we've got Urbano, who's spectacular and will not be usurped from there, and Najar, the Brazilian superstar. In my head, he's a superstar. Whether he is or not is another matter. He's got 12 long shots, so we don't need another left back. We do still need to add a few gaps in. What I am thinking though is striker is, I was thinking not actually bringing in a striker. Zilli, I think, can do a decent job. Yes, his finishing is only 12, but everything else looks good in that position. Everything else is fine. At a minimum, everything else is fine, if not very good. I think we go with it. I think we just go with it. He's an elite forward, so let's give him a chance as a forward. And then we've got the other kid, Petrovic, on the bench, who is going to be a superstar with really good finishing. Who's going to get better and better and is probably going to get into that position sooner than we think. I don't think we need it. We've got Takita as well, who can do the job. I'm actually debating selling Takita because he's a little bit underwhelming. He's not particularly quick. He's 6 foot, so he's not massively tall. His jumping's not great. His heading's okay. His passing's okay. His vision's good. Technique's good. Finishing and all that. He has got a good free kick on him. He's not anything that screams spectacular, but then he is a good cover player because he can cover all 4 of the main attacking positions. So that's an argument to keep him, I suppose, is his flexibility. So I don't know. I don't quite know what we're going to do with that. But we do still need to bring people in. Defensive midfield is a bit of a problem. I've really struggled to find a ball-winning midfielder of quality who is going to be in our budget range. Now, bear in mind, we're going to have about £150 million after we've plugged in one centre-back position and both winger positions. Bearing in mind at the moment, we only need one winger. which is a bit of an oversight on my part. So maybe we consider only bringing one of those guys in. Or maybe we take advantage on something like Gonçalves' interest by AC Milan. I mean, I don't see myself wanting to sell to AC Milan, but there's that. I mean, Espinosa's going to be staying. There's no question about that. He's fantastic. He's rapid as well. But then Campanella. To be fair, Campanella at one point was part of the Laskowski deal, so I'm actually not that fussed about Campanella, but Campanella can also play an attacking midfield if it is needed. So, you know, we'll consider that if we need to as well. There's a lot to think about here. A lot to think about. Campanella, do we let him go, actually? He's not a homegrown player, I don't think. I don't think he classes as homegrown at club. He does class at homegrown at club, actually, so that's an argument to keep him. Okay, we'll bear that in mind. There's a lot to do. I still need, even with Laskowski coming in, I still need 2 defenders. In fact, possibly even 3 central defenders. I still need a lot in that area. So I think we'll bring him in, try and find someone else of similar quality, and then we'll just go for youngsters, I think, because we'll be stretching the budget at that point. This is proven to be a bit more of a challenge, but you know what? For a final season or 2 in FM24, why not have it be a bit of a challenge? I think that's where the fun is. Right, bear with me. I'm going to try and make a few more things happen, and hopefully we bring the players in that are really going to push this side to the next level. And just like that, we have a deal now. He has scouted a little bit lower than I wanted him to, but Tom Laskowski is in. We spent a lot of money on him, £110 million. It's interesting that he scouted a bit lower than what I thought he was. So I'm not disappointed in it whatsoever, but I was hoping maybe for him to look a little bit better than that. But you know what? He'll be fine. We know he's good. We've used him before. I'm not sad about it. He'll do a good job for us. So Tom is in. That's 1 signing down. That does drop our transfer budget down to £141 million. But again, bear in mind, we've got 78 million to come from that. So that'll leave about 70 odd million, 70 to 60. And then we've got 167 to come in. So we're not going to be poor. Let's put it like that. We're still going to have over 200 million to potentially spend, which is great. But 1 central defender in, which is good. Very happy with that. Still a host of players that we need to get rid of. If that can happen sooner rather than later, that would be fabulous. But yes, that makes me feel a bit better. Him and Silva at the moment would be a good partnership. Silva, again, I don't necessarily want to rely on him just because of that consistency, but maybe it's not going to be too much of a problem. What's his average rating been over the seasons, actually? 120 games. Last season he had a good season, to be fair. So maybe we can rely on him a little bit, but I would feel more comfortable bringing someone in over the top of him and then just bringing in kind of a cheap alternative. So that's probably the next thing that we need to do. So I'm going to go away and try and find that. And fingers crossed we can find someone who can fill the job. Because, again, Trigos technically can play as a centre-back, but I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it. Why was I was against it, wasn't I? The tackling worries me. 12 tackling, it does concern me a little bit. He's going to be better as a right back, isn't he? He's probably, I mean, he's only 2.5 stars as a full back. So he probably does have to be a centre back, doesn't he? Even with that poor tackling. Do we shift focus and do we maybe say Trigos is actually a centre-back? Do we move Trigos on? Because actually, is he even that good? I don't know if he's even that good. Maybe we've tried to move Trigos on and raise a bit more money with that. We get rid of the non-EU player. I mean, teams are in... Do you know what? He's not all that, is he? So let's move him on. Let's move him on. I'm going to put him up for 40. I'm a bit surprised that that's what's ended up happening, but I feel that's the right thing to do. It does now mean that we've got to bring in a right back, a centre back, a right back, a centre back. In fact, a right back, a centre back, and a right back and a centre back. Yeah, no, I was right the first time. So we still have to bring in that combination, but we'll have a little bit more money to do it. So I'm going to go away and try and do that. I think that's got to be the priority, is defence. Let's get that bit sorted before we make any other transfers anywhere else, if we need to. Gavi's gone. Again, because it wouldn't be a save of mine if Gavi didn't get sold. £60 million to come in. We get 54 million of that, which is good to see. So a bit more money in the transfer kitty. Now, a wage budget as well. I have put in an offer for this guy, Daniel Cordoba. defensive midfielder and defender. It probably will be a defensive midfielder more than anything. Ball-winning midfielder is what I'm thinking of. I think he can do a decent job. Passing's not all that. It doesn't need to be. I just need him to get the ball and recycle it. So he'll be a good, handy player who can do both of those defensive midfield positions. And also, should we need it, centre-back. But at 5'10", that isn't going to happen. So it's going to cost a fair bit, £70 million. It is what it is at this point in the save. We're in the year 2033. It's going to be expensive, so it is what it is. Still waiting for Martinez and Samini to be confirmed. On the way out, we still have all of the same transfers, but Trigos is potentially on his way out. 30's been offered. I've counted 40 for both of the clubs. We'll see who comes up with the goods. Ademi has an offer for 12.75 accepted. Let's get rid of that. We don't want to be accepting that. We just want 20 or above for him. And then we have one of the other guys have their offer accepted as well, and he's gone. I can't remember the name of the player. What was his name? Aslani. He's gone. He's gone to Al-Alhi. So we don't need to worry about him anymore. And there's the confirmation of the Gavi deal as well. So transfers in. We are over what we've made, but not by much at the moment. So hopefully we'll continue making some money as well as spending it. But we have got an awful amount of money here, so we can throw some over. It's not going to make a dent of difference, really, in terms of what we can and can't afford. It's just players wanting to come to us. That's the problem. But that was potentially going to be the defensive midfield sorted with Cordoba. Wings also sorted as well. Potentially even striker with Samini. I'm tempted. The more we're looking in, the more I'm thinking, do we make him a striker? We could. We could, because Zilli can play attacking midfield. We can find somewhere else for Zilli. I'm going to need to think about that while I make some more transfers. Just very quickly confirming as well that Damak have signed Ademi for £20 million. That's another 20 million that's come in, and we've got all 20 million of that. So that's even more money in the kitty. Even though we've spent a lot already, £253 million is currently in the transfer pot, and we still have a little bit to make. Potentially 45 million there or thereabouts, maybe just under that, in fact, with Alessandro Bastoni, who the longer time goes on, the more I'm tempted to try and cancel the deal and see whether he'll fall out with me, but I'm pretty sure, yeah, he does want to go, so we can't risk anything. So, but yeah, that deal is done. So let's see what else we can get sorted before we get to the first game of the season. Okay, transfers have been made aplenty. We still have a fair bit of money left, though, although I do need to shift a bit over to the wage side of things. But we have made plenty of transfers. I say plenty of transfers. We made a few transfers. Now, I can't remember whether Daniel Cordoba had been fully signed at the time of the last part of the video, but he has now fully been signed. He is here, and will do a very good job in both of the defensive midfield positions. He'll be absolutely fine for us as that kind of rock in the middle. And, you know, that's all he really needs to be, which I'm very happy about. And then also finished the signing of Antonello Simini. I played the first friendly, which I don't normally do, but I wanted to see how the team looked and felt. Very good going forward, solid at the back. Gave a bit more possession than I wanted to, but it was the first friendly. But this guy, hat-trick in the first half. It was against like a lower level team, so you'd expect him to do well, but he ripped them apart. It was a joy to behold watching him play. So I'm very excited. I mean, he's like, he's a big shirt name in terms of revenue and things like that. It came up with the thing, big name boost shirt sales. So very happy with that. It also came back with Cordoba, actually. So that's quite interesting. I then signed a right back from Leipzig, Marcio Vasconcelos. Go with that, Vasconcelos. Brazilian. We might have a bit of an issue with non-EU players, but I'm sure we'll get to that at some point. Looks absolutely fine to me. He's not the best in the world, but he'll do a job. I actually have taken a step back on the idea of selling our other right back, Trigos. I'm actually going to keep him, and he's going to be utilised as a fullback on support. He's 24. He's got time to kind of maintain his level, and I think he'll be fine for now. So I'm going to just change this to regular starter. There we go, we'll do that. I'm quite happy to keep him, actually, thinking about it. It would just be one more thing to do. We struggle to find Vasconcelos, so finding another right back without breaking the bank would be kind of ridiculous. So very happy with that as a signing. And then I've just finished the signing of this guy, Mikhail Charles. He was available. Other clubs are in for him. I have taken a bit of a gamble on him because he has that symbol. Now, I've got to be honest with you, that didn't scout. I've just seen that. He looks great, though, other than that. He looks absolutely fantastic. He had a good time at Porto as well, particularly last season. Scored 22 goals. So he's got some goals in him. We just need to be aware that maybe in big games he's not someone we rely on, but he didn't cost us that much, to be honest with you. So I'm willing to take the gamble on him for that fee, especially because I think now he's going to be worth a lot more if we have a look at him. Where is he? There he is. Michael Charles is worth up to 90 million. So worst case, we make a profit on him. Worst case, we make some money on him. So we weren't going to sign a striker. I've signed a striker, whether we like it or not, but he will just add something to that front line. Zilli's going to do a great job anyway, but we've now got another backup striker as well, and Petrovic will probably end up going out on loan. Still got a fair bit of deadwood to shift, though, which is a bit annoying. Van Persie has not had a single offer in for him. It's only Leon who wants him now, and I only want him on a loan. Waneri's gone out on loan because we couldn't shift him out. Gagliardi might actually end up staying, possibly just as a backup fullback option. Everyone else I'm quite happy to get rid of, but it is just kind of the dregs that are here. Valdo's on his way out. He's had an offer come in for him. Luis Eduardo, I've not had good enough offers in for him, but I do want to obviously get rid. Pierini, I don't know whether... Do we want to hang on to him? Not too bad, is he? Not too bad. Maybe we loan him out. Loan him out. Let's quickly just sort that. We'll pop him up for 50% of his wages, and we'll just see if someone wants to give that a go. But I'm pretty happy with what we've done. We do still need another central defender, and in an ideal world, another defensive midfielder, because Bastoni left. So we do still have some work to do. Probably more work that I'd like to have to do. That's 2 major players that we need to bring in. 3 major players. We still need another centre back, actually. I've just thought we've still only got the 2. And we've got just under 100 million pounds left to spend. Now, I have put an offer in for this guy. However, he is going to be a non-EU player. He's going to be someone for the future. I've got my eye on a couple of players, but it's proving to be quite difficult to find centre-backs. So, you know, especially in the kind of the 40 million pound region, there's one I need to put an offer in for. I put an offer in, I kind of ballsed it up, and they wanted to have the fee per game. I'm not messing around with that nonsense. So I'm going to go back in, see if we can get that sorted. And then we might just try and loan in a centre-back because the kind of final one. Again, I'm very aware that Cordoba can play there, so I'm not too worried about it. So, yeah, leave it with me. Okay, this, I think, is the squad that we're going to have for the season. I think all transfers are done, which is good because we've got no money left. Literally, absolutely nothing, really. Well, I mean, no, technically nothing. There's a transfer here that's been blocked. Why I can't edit that now, I don't know. I think it's because I've been... because apparently there's contract offers. There's really not, though. Oh, no, there is. Shaquille Van Persie might be on his way out, and this guy's still on his way out as well. So there are a couple of offers out there which will block us from doing that anymore. Also, Adam Arsnew has a sell-on clause. Hello. Well, this has come from nowhere. 5 million. Go on, then. Let's have that. Thank you very much. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with the transfers that we've done. Just to quickly show you the full list, this is how everything lays out. Spent a lot. You didn't realise how much we'd spent. But we've also made a lot as well. We had 200 million to spend initially, or just under. So I don't really understand how we did put a lot of wage budget into the transfer kitty though. So there are the transfers that we made. Laskowski, 110 million. Cordoba, 70 million. Simini, 33 million. That could be a bargain. Vasconcelos, 40 million. Michael Charge, 36, rising to 41. And then the other signings that I've just made are Mika Sander, who... good defensive midfielder, centre back. We'll do both of those. Probably be a centre back for us more than anything. Doesn't like big games. We've got a few players who don't like big games. To be fair, Cole Palmer's performances last season, they have opened me up to this. So we'll keep an eye on what is and isn't a big game, but he will definitely be a good rotation option. We also signed Pau Kubasi. This is the one I was talking about where I had to put it back in. He's come in from Barcelona after playing nearly 150 games for them. He's just a solid centre-back. We've not got any worldly centre-backs. We've got solid centre-backs, and I'm very happy with them. So this is going to be the defensive partner, although it says here he's a DM. He's not a DM. Oh, no, it says defender DM. Yeah, read it properly, Stu. I've recorded this at 11:30 at night. He's going to be fine. It's going to be him and Laskowski more than likely as the defensive partnership going forward. And then I've also signed Luca Marcotta, our boy from Arsenal, the one we brought in. He's come in as backup defensive midfield. He'll either be he'll be one or the other. He can do both roles, and I'm very happy to have him back on board because he did a decent job for us every now and then. But I don't think he's played much for Arsenal since I left, which was that season. Actually, no. correction, he played more. He played more when I left. So yeah, let's pretend that didn't happen. In terms of transfers out, there's been nothing major since the last couple, Bastoni and Waneri, that we've talked about. There's not been anything really major. You can't see behind my head, but that's a loan for Waneri, and Bastoni was 4.5 million. So yeah. But Shaquille Van Persie is looking like it's going to be added to that list. That'll be £25 million into the club. Just add things up. It'll be his wages off the bill as well, which will be good to see. That's a good chunk of money that will be coming back as well. We are having to pay him a couple of £1 million for compensation now because he threw a bit of a wobbly that he's going to Atletico Madrid. So what I'm now going to do, this video is going to be quite long. I'm actually going to go to the first game of the season and we'll play that. I'm probably going to finish recording tonight and then do that under the day. Genoa is going to be the first game of the season. We will come back for that. I've got 2 friendlies left. I'm going to play those. And then, yeah, in the next part of the video, we'll play that one. And then we'll move on for the rest of the season. And again, the aim for this season, because I took this job without paying too much attention, is win the league so we can do a quick-fire Champions League attempt next season. That's the plan. See whether we can do it or not. We'll be back in a moment. Okay, it is a new day. I am still wearing, well, not still wearing the same hoodie. I've taken it off, put it back on because I'm a bit chilly. But we are back for the opening game of the season. Nothing else has happened in the transfer market other than Shaquille Van Persie has finally left. So we are starting to get there. There's a few more names left on here, but not very many. And we're here for the first game of the season, which is not against Genoa, as I believe it originally was meant to be. It's now against Napoli. I don't know why there was a fixture change, but there was. And we've got Napoli, who, if we have a look on our club info and have a look at our rivalries, we have a competitive rivalry against them now. And when I say now, that's literally happened this season. So, so this is going to be a fun one. So as a result of that, Charles is not going to start. He is going to be on the bench for us. We're going to start with Zilli. To get more into that, this is the 11 we're going with. It is going to be Urbig in goal. Vasconcelos, Laskowski, Kabasi and Urbano in defence. It's going to be Verlaine and Tenas in the middle with Simini, Gula and Espinosa putting Zilli up front. First time I've had to run through those names on camera. I think I did a relatively decent job. Vasco was a bit of a problem. I might just call him Vasco going forward. We are still waiting, by the way, for Trigos to be fully fit. He's not far away though. He's only 1 day away from full fitness, which is great. We've got a full bench as well, more or less. There's 2 places missing, but we've got 13 names on there. I think that's enough to be getting on with. So let's see what we can do. I am just going to change that and we're going to go ahead and see what we can do. We've had an unbeaten pre-season. It's been pretty nice, actually. We've battered some teams, which has been good to see. The final friendly, we used the rotated 11 for most of it, and at the 80th minute, we swapped everyone on just to keep them with a few minutes in. And yeah, I'm intrigued to see what happens here because I think we've assembled a good team on top of what was already a good team. I'm pretty sure we've just added to it really well. I think our defence is stronger. Star rating-wise, it might not look stronger, but ED is definitely stronger. Midfield-wise, we've definitely made some additions. Wing-wise, I think with Samini as well. Is it Samini? I've forgotten his name already. Did I get it right? Samini, yeah. With him, he could be a superstar. We've added some depth on the wings as well. I'm quietly happy with the work that we've done. But the proof of the pudding is in the eating. And we're standing, well, we're not standing at the dinner table. We're sitting at the dinner table now. We've just finished our main course. So the dessert is on its way. Now, the one good thing is this is a home game that we're opening things off with. It is going to be interesting in competitive play to see how someone like Zilli does. He is Samini. I tell you what, I genuinely think we've signed a superstar with him. At a bargain price as well. I talked about Alex Zeev being the bargain of the save. From what I've seen of this boy so far, he could be the bargain of the save. And if we do get to do a second season of this, which I very much want to do because it's the whole point of it, to try and get into the Champions League after I joined the club without realising that we weren't in the Champions League. Not that I'm still bitter about that or anything. It would be nice to try and get this club to a 5-star reputation in the Champions League so we can then go in for our boy Alex Zeev, bring him in, reassess the rest of the squad at that point because we won't have any room to put him in, and then just wreck shop with him because he was sensational for us at Bayern Munich. We are just all over them at the moment. Most of the highlights have been set pieces, which is fine. I don't mind that. But we have been all over them. They've got Boer in goal, who is a good goalkeeper. Injury-prone goalkeeper, worth bearing in mind. Very injury-prone. But So far, so good. Right, Laskowski to Vasconcelos, into Samini. Samini just runs past his man. He's catching up with him, his man, but he's managed to hold on to the ball. Goes back to Vasconcelos, back to Samini, into Verlaine. Verlaine loses the ball. Samini's all over it. We've just signed an absolute superstar, haven't we? He's single-handedly ripping Napoli apart here. Verlaine loses the ball. Samini just gets the ball and just says, I'll show you how it's done. Left peg, boom, goal. I don't even think he's left-footed. I think he's right-footed. And he's just gone and done that. Right-footed. What a sensation we've signed there. And I think he cost us less than 50 million. What a first half that is. Utter destruction of Napoli. Of our new rivals. Wow. I'm going to encourage Zellini. No one else having a bad game, to be fair. But we'll just tell these guys, you know, keep going. We'll just go again. 2-0 up. Two Samini goals. We'll see if we can get a third one. See if we can get a debut hat-trick from him. It's his debut as well. His debut against Napoli. And he's just gone and just bossed them to get 2 goals. Right. Counter-attack. Vasconcelos running forward. We have got counter-attackers running forward. Here goes to Espinoza. Espinoza now. Looking to hold the ball up. Is he going to whip it in? He floats it in. Looking for Samini at the far post. And he's so close to getting a hat-trick there. Urbano keeps it. Well, I thought he kept it in play, actually. It's ended up going out. Lovely work from Espinoza. Lovely cross. And Samini is good in the air. He has got good aerial ability. So there was a real risk of him scoring there. But obviously it didn't end up happening. Keep an eye on Verlaine. He is on a yellow card. We have got the personnel to swap in for him if we think that it is appropriate. I might do that in the next break of this highlight here. Right, Laskowski coming forward into Verlaine. Verlaine back to Kubasi. Kubasi going to Vasconcelos. Back to Laskowski. All the way back to Urbig, who's coming forward as the sweeper keeper on support. Kubasi now looking for someone to get the ball to. He ends up going to Urbano. Urbano drives it forward to Espinoza. Espinoza, more creative. What's he going to do? Gets it to Urbano. Urbano with heavy touch, loses the ball. But Tenas does a great job. And Samini now on the ball here. Does really well to keep the ball into Zilli. Zilli should be scoring that. I mean, his finishing isn't the best, but even he should have got that on target. I think he'll feel a bit hard done by there. Right, changes. Now, Samini is tiring. And his stamina's good. He must have had a bit of a rough tackle. Zilli's coming off. I'm going to bring on Mikhail Charles. We'll give him a go. I'm going to take off Verlaine as well. We're going to bring on Cordoba. And then for my third trick, I'm not going to do anything. I'm quite content with how things are going. Why mess it? Why mix anything up more than we need to? I'm looking at Tenas. We might give Tenas a bit of a rest. Right, Gula does some dirty work there. Lovely stuff. Right, Verlaine, before the substitutions come into effect, get to Samini, who is tiring. I wanted to get a hat-trick so I can take him off more than anything. Right, waiting for support. Goes to Vasconcelos. Vasconcelos running inwards. Goes back to Laskowski. Laskowski to Kubasi. Tenas. Into Espinoza. Espinoza out wide to Urbano. Urbano now whipping it in. Looking for Samini. That's got to be a hat-trick. It is a hat-trick. Or is it? It's... Oh, I'll be so annoyed because I want to take him off. I'll be so annoyed if this is not given. Keep an eye on those hands. The hands are up. It's a goal. It's a hat-trick. It's a debut hat-trick against Napoli at the San Siro from Samini. Wonderful stuff. I'm delighted. I'm absolutely delighted with that as a debut. I will be taking him off in a moment. Yeah, we'll proceed with tactical changes. Get to 70 minutes. Right, he's coming off. As is Espinoza, actually, who has had a good game as well. He's not going to get any of the plaudits, but we'll bring these two on. It's a good pair of wingers to be able to bring on as well. Absolutely superb. It's been the Samini show. Samini's wild. We're all just living in it. Right, it's a deep free kick here for Napoli. Whips it in. Cordoba gets on the end of it, launches it forward. Can't quite find Charles. I haven't seen anything of Charles just yet. Right, Tosic with the ball gets to Woodhouse for Napoli. Napoli building from the back here. Can we force them into a mistake and get that ball off of them? Don't know. They are a competent side, Napoli. Or at least they should be anyway. Right, Borza. Goes round his man. Has to go backwards, though, to Buongiorno. Buongiorno loses the ball there. Gonçalves does really well to press him backwards there, but they managed to retain possession. They're doing really well at keeping the ball here. Concerns me a little bit. Oh, Gonçalves has nicked it, though. Gonçalves wants to prove a point that Samini is not the only good winger on that right flank. Right, Gonçalves into Gula. Lovely pass there. And Arda Gula, captain. He's our captain, Arda Gula. And he's gone and made it for Gonçalves with the assist, showing that we have got strength in depth in those attacking positions. Beautiful thing to see. Gonçalves just waits, finds the pass. Gula breaks forward beautifully. What a finish that is, by the way. And all of a sudden, it's 4-0. And all of a sudden, we are having a dominant first game as Inter manager. We've got a hat-trick. The captain scored a goal. I don't think I could be much happier than I am with this performance. Urbano is going to be the final change. He's coming off for Nayar. Flammarion, Najar. What a name that is, by the way. Flammarion. He's a Pokemon. He's coming on. He had an eye for goal in pre-season, so we're nice to see whether he gets 1 or 2, actually. Cordoba's not had a particularly good debut. A bit disappointed with him. Charles has had a bit of an average debut. I'm willing to give both of them a chance. Actually, Cordoba's gone up to a 6.8, so he's recovered a little bit. I'd like to see a bit more from Charles. First performance. I would class this as a big game against Napoli. They are a rival, so he doesn't really like the big games. I'm willing to kind of give him the benefit of a doubt in this game. Against a smaller team, I think I would be a bit concerned if it was this lacking in goal action. Right, whipped in the yard, does a really, really, really good heading clearance. Campanella gives the ball away, but Charles now on the ball for the first time. Goes back to Gula. Cordoba now. First time we've seen him on the ball anyway. Out wide to Gonçalves. Gonçalves running out wide. He's going to look for the cross. That's his bread and butter. Looking for Campanella. He's found Campanella, but the flag is up. I think this is going to be disallowed. Fine if it is. We're 4-0 up. I don't mind if it remains 4-0. Obviously can't see the hands up because that's in the way. Yeah, disallowed. That's fine. I'm okay with that. I'm just glad that the ball didn't go to Charles and Charles put it in the back of the net, because then I'd have been fuming. But 4-0's fine. It's actually Charles who was offside, which I think is a bit unfair that Campanella has been penalised for that. But that will be that. What a dominant performance that is on the opening day of the season. The team's still getting used to the tactic. They're still getting used to playing with some of their new teammates. We've got an entire, not an entire new back four, but like the back three of the back four are completely new. We've probably changed where some of the people are playing. We had a new right winger. I'm pretty happy with how that went on all counts. On all counts. We've inherited a good side and we've just had some good depth to it. And a superstar right winger. An absolute superstar right winger. Genuinely. Where has this guy come from? £33 million. Started at Napoli. He's just gone and wrecked his former club. He's just gone and utterly wrecked his former club. At 23 years old, 23 caps. He's only scored the twice for Italy. He's just gone in. His heading's actually not as good as I thought. He's 6'1" though, so that's probably what I was thinking of. He's just gone there and done that to his former club. On his debut for Inter Milan, Antonello Samini, remember the name, because this guy is going to be a future player of the year. Hopefully we get to that point during this save. But imagine a world where we have him up front paired with Alexiv. Or even have Alexiv on the other side. That's an exciting world. Right, that is going to do it for this video. I know it's going to be on the longer side. It was introductory to our time here at Inter Milan. So when are we going to be back? I mean, we'll probably tie in a Europa League game, as much as I don't really want to think about the fact we're in Europa League. But we'll probably come back somewhere in October along with that. We'll see what games we get. But I'm going to go forward. I'm going to try and get through it as quickly as possible. I won't lie to you, because at the end of the day, we want to try and get through the rest of this save before FM26 comes out. So I'll try and get through as much of it as quickly as I can. And I will see you in the next part of the save, and hopefully we'll be flying high. Just to confirm, in Serie A, we are currently top, because, you know, that was a great performance. Season preview-wise, we're not predicted to be top. Roma are. Very interesting. Who's our next game, by the way? Roma at home. Very interesting to see how that works. So Roma actually won the league last season as well. I actually thought it was Juventus. think the last time we looked, it was Juventus, but Roma won the league. The season before was Inter. Then it was a bit of a gap where Napoli, Juventus a few times, and Roma had won the league. So Inter have not had much fun. Atalanta have also won the league at some point. So they've definitely had a rise up to prominence. So yeah, interesting. Very interesting indeed. So we are looking to return Inter to the top. It's interesting. Inter haven't finished second since 2023-2024. And they finished third 3 times as well, but only won it twice since the save started. So it's been slim pickings in terms of Inter dominance. So let's see whether we can return things to the way that they should be with Inter on top. Fingers crossed we can. Thanks for watching. If you've enjoyed today's video, don't forget to leave a big like on there for me. Hit that subscribe button as well so don't miss any of the content coming from the channel in the future. Comments do. You guys have been awesome, and I will see you in the next video. Cheers.